friends. It's good to be here today. A bunch of things are changing and happening all the time, right? And I'm finding it an interesting experience to try to find that place of balance when everything is turning so much. It's almost like there's I don't know if you've ever seen these coffee cup holders that go into your vehicle. They kind of sit in as the vehicle turns, the cup can shift with it. Right? It's the magic of engineering, I suppose. And essentially, the idea is that no matter which direction the vehicle is going, the cup can remain upright. And I think about that, and I'm curious if that's a good way forward, or is that somehow bypassing some part of the experience? And I don't really know if there's an answer to that that's going to be easily found, but I find that it's a useful tool to try to have that level of stillness even when things are shifting so rapidly. I feel like there's a difference in finding our stillness than there is in ignoring the movement. I know that as a person who has probably functioned under certain levels of crisis for long enough in my life, that I know that one thing about me is I have the ability to be very calm in time of crisis. But I seem to have an inability to be calm in times when there's not crisis. I can function well in the chaos, but when things are seemingly at an even keel, it's almost as if I need to create the chaos. It's like I've got my sea legs and I don't know how to be on land. So this coffee cup balance has been a useful tool for me. Because even as the things are shifting and changing, I can maintain a certain level of inner stillness with practice. And I know that we've all seen this image of kind of a robotic level of disengagement. And that's not what I'm speaking towards. It's kind of the opposite. It's It's more akin to being absolutely present so much with what's happening that you are not living in the possibilities of what's coming next. And that level of presence is not dissociation, it's total engagement. And that total engagement allows us to remain even. So the thing to watch for me, is that when it's not swaying and moving and shifting and things are just slowly, steadily moving along, that I don't find myself seeking the roughness of the road. Right? I need to allow myself the times of peace and calm as well. So finding stillness in the boredom. That's my practice right now. Even if it's not boring, even if there's a lot of things happening in life, it's more about recognizing for me that there is not an achievable goal. Right? There's nothing we're working towards. And there's nothing we're working away from. That what is happening right now is what my experience is here for. I'm here for this. And that level of acceptance and showing up is everything I need in any given moment to remember my agency. Because sometimes things in life are happening so much that we think that they're happening to us. And we don't have our sense of agency within that maelstrom of calamity. People are making decisions on our behalf. Um, there are mandates that come down from people in positions of societal controls. There are people vehemently disagreeing with something and other ones disagreeing with them. And we're being torn in all of these different directions. And we have this innate, I don't know if it's innate or if it's been taught to us, this fear that makes us want to choose sides and makes us want to double down on an identity. Well, that's who I am right there. And that's the hill I'm going to die on. And we do it with all sorts of things and I think we've been trained from a young age, Coke or Pepsi, right? Who are you? How are you going to define yourself by your clothing, by your consumption choices? How are you going to be defined by the world around you? And then what are you going to do to defend that definition of self? And so we become quite polarized. And this is the complete loss of agency. This is where I begin to lose touch with how to be that balanced experience of life, and I start to prop up a dying identity, because all of our identities are dying all of the time. It's a constant state of sloughing off of who we think we are. That's really happening. We're challenged at every turn with who we think we are, who I think you are, who I want you to think I am. All of this is always dying. And it's always being reborn. And this is the crisis. This is the level at which we exist in an identity crisis. And this is where fear really thrives, like a bacteria feeding on sugars. This is the sweet nectar for fear. This level of existing within how I think the world should be, or who I think I should be fitting into the world, and where you fit into that very narrow box. So learning how to find our even keel, our balance, like the liquid in the cup that remains level even if I'm tilting my cup. Right? That, I think, is a good practice of agency. Agency being that place within us where we feel present and that we are not subjected to another's perspective, but allowing ourselves to experience the world as it is. As it is. And I know that the last few years have been a particular challenge for many of us, especially with the COVID lockdowns and the experience that many of us had for the first time of an identity crisis at that level. Who am I if I am not being reaffirmed by you? Who am I if I'm not being reaffirmed by my social position? Who am I if I'm not being reaffirmed by my level of authority at my job? Who am I if you don't see me? Who am I? And that level of crisis really feels like you're drowning. And so at that point, any lifesaver that gets thrown your way is going to be fully welcomed. And then social media is full of these lifesavers, these flotation devices. Like your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device. In the case of a plane crash into the ocean, your seat can be a flotation device. There's a lot of depth in that one there. In yoga, the word asana, the positionings, all of the different poses that you take in yoga, that word asana in Sanskrit means seat. So when we take ourselves into an asana, we're not taking a seat, we're becoming the seat. So in those terms, your seat can be used as a flotation device, takes on levels and levels of meaning. That's a fun one. But when we're drowning in this crisis of identity, we can latch on to anything that's going to have a semblance of validation. I need to be validated by you. I need you to tell me who I am right now. I need you to reaffirm who I think I am. I need to know how my human suit looks today. And that's a scary place to be. And some of us exist in that place often, consciously. Some of us unconsciously are driven by that unconscious driver. But then we can stumble onto a practice. And that practice can be quite simple. Just a few breaths. Just a few breaths to remember who I am. And I'm not this body. It means I'm not these clothes. It means I'm not the car. It means I'm not the job. It means I'm not the manager. It means I'm not the father. It means I'm not the son. It means I'm not the husband. These are all identities and roles that I gladly and lovingly take on. But that's not who I am. I'm not even Michael. That name is the name of this experience. And this is where it gets really hard to follow sometimes. It just sounds really flighty, but let's go there for just a second. The amazing poet Andrea Gibson has a line in one of her poems, and I'm going to paraphrase it here, but it's something along the lines of, we can't be these bodies, because how would we fit this whole body into your heart? Something along those lines. So when I say I'm not the body and I'm not the job and I'm not any of those things, those are not the things that are lovable. Those things are likable. We can really like them. We can like them so much we become attached to them, and we never want to see them go away. But the ever-changing nature of who we are, that's deeper than like. And I'm not the body that I was 20 years ago. This body is a different body. This body is slower and feels pain a little differently. But I'm still here. And like the liquid in the teacup, I'm inside of this body right now. But I don't stay here. You don't stay there. And the temporary fact of our existence is enough to make me want to love even deeper. And by love, I mean just show up. The fact that I'm going away and you're going away and everything we've ever seen is going away makes me want to not miss a moment. Trapped in my own insecurities and fears, but I want agency. I want the ability to arrive and experience the world on its terms and be present for it. So let's find our meditation posture together, and we'll take just a few breaths. You might be seated on the floor or a cushion or pillow with your legs crossed in any number of positions. Maybe you're in a chair or a car seat. You might be standing in line, listening in your headphones. Wherever you are in this moment right now, your meditation posture is going to be that place of balance within your body, whatever that looks like. Our practice right now is a practice of breath. We choose the breath to practice because we're going to breathe. And if you're going to breathe, then being present for the breath allows you to unite your mind, your body, and give rest for your spirit to find its seat. Let's find stillness in the acceptance of our breath. Feeling the breath move into the body and out of the body. As you begin to breathe consciously, make small adjustments to accommodate the breath. Straighten the spine as much as you can. Gently pull the shoulder blades together in the back, just enough to open the chest and open the heart. Soften the belly. Let the belly grow as you breathe in through the nose, and let it shrink as you breathe out. As you breathe in, as you breathe out. Relax the eyes, the back of the head, the neck, the jaw. Breathe in and release. Relax the shoulders, the chest, the top of the back. Relax your arms. Breathe in. Release. Feel your heart. Breathe in right to the middle of your heart. And release. Feel the belly as it rises with the in-breath and falls. Feel your hips, your butt as it sits on the seat, connected to the floor, right to the earth. Feel that connection coming right from the tip of the bottom of your spine all the way down into the earth. And know that you are held. Breathe in and release. Feel your legs, your knees, your ankles, and your feet. Breathe in. Release. With your eyes gently closed, even if just for a breath, look around with closed eyes and see how expansive you are. There is no end. There is no beginning. Let's take 3 breaths together. Breathing in, receiving. Breathing out, letting go. Exhale. Breathe in. Let go. Receive. Let go. And receive. Let go. Thank you for joining today on the journey home. I think it's good for me to remember that all of this is a practice, whether it's my intentional practice of presence and breath, or whether it's how I practice my dissociation, or how I practice blame or shame or guilt or anything that I externalize. Whatever I'm doing in the moment is my practice. And all I need to do is shift and change my practice to change the outcome. That's all. Just shift. And in all of that shifting, inside of it, there I am. Still. Hari Om. Thanks for joining today. If you enjoyed this morning sit, please share it. It's available on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, or you can try to catch it live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Be well.